The vectors of 2 points A and B relative to a fixed origin O are given by OA is 2I hat plus J hat. You might know what I'm talking about with this hat thing, but when we saw unit vectors, you know that, okay, instead of this being like a regular I, regular J, it should actually be I hat, like this little thingy, and then J hat. It's called a hat, right? And that's how you represent unit vectors. But like I said, when we get to unit vectors, I'll show you that. So it should really be I hat, J hat. Anyways, and OB is 3I hat minus 5J hat. Find the magnitude of AB. Well, that's simple. I know that AB has to be AO plus OB. So then AO has to be minus OA. Why would I change it to minus OA? Because he did not give me information on AO. They told me about OA. And I know AO and OA are related because AO is the same as say minus OA. Just to show that they're in opposite directions, right? So let me actually write that out. They want me to find the magnitude of AB. But the problem is I don't even know what the vector AB is. So I need to find that first. So I know that AB is the same as saying OA plus OB. But they did not give me any information about AO. They told me about the vector OA. So I can say AO is minus OA. The minus sign just means that these two are in opposite directions. Plus OB. From here, I could do what I need to do. So there are two ways to approach this. Because we didn't learn about unit vectors yet, you could actually convert that unit vector into a column vector. That's just because we didn't talk about unit vectors yet, right? So what did they tell you? They told you that OA is 2I hat plus J hat. Because we didn't learn about unit vectors yet, I would have expected you to convert this into the vector form. I mean the column form. So it would be 2, 1, right? Like at the beginning of vectors, when I was showing you the different ways you could represent vectors, I said if you're given a column vector x, y, so we know x is always the top number represents movement along the x-axis. Y is the bottom number, represents movement along the y-axis. If I wanted to write this as a unit vector, I could say xi plus yj, so hat. Therefore, saying 2I hat plus j hat is the same as saying 2, 1 as a column vector. So like I said, because we didn't do unit vectors yet, I actually expected you to rewrite this as a column vector because you know what to do with those. We haven't really dealt with unit vectors yet. That's one way to do it. I changed my vector into a column vector. That's why I can say here, OA is 2, 1 as a column vector. So minus 2, 1. OB, they told me has the vector 3I hat minus 5J hat. So I can actually rewrite this as 3 minus 5. So OB as a column vector is 3 minus 5. From there, we manipulate it, right, to find AB. So this is minus 2 plus 3, which would give me positive 1. Minus 1 plus minus 5 would give me minus 6. So therefore, the column vector for AB is actually 1 minus 6. Everybody good with that so far?
Yes, miss.
This thing will go. Okay. But they did not ask me for the vector AB. They asked me for the magnitude. So I'm just leaving that part right there. And we know whenever they ask me to find magnitude, modulus, length, size, I have to apply the formula, right? That's the one that states the magnitude of a vector. So in this case, it's AB is actually the square root of the x component squared plus the y component squared. So whenever they ask you for magnitude, or you might see length, modulus, or size, you know this is what you're applying, right? The x component is always the top number. So in this case, it's +1, and that's why I would write this is equal to 1 squared plus y. Y is always the bottom number. And in this case, it's -6. So -6 squared. I simplify this. 1 plus -6 squared is +36. 36 plus 1, 37. So 37 units. And 37 is a prime number, right? So you can't simplify this anymore. It's just root 37 units. Everybody go down? Yes? No?
Yes, miss. Understood.
Okay, can I clear this?
Yes, miss. You can.
Let me start from here. When we move on to unit vectors, you would realize that you do not have to convert this form into the column vector, right? You could actually just work with this. Let me just show you real quick. If I wanted, oh my, that's a B. If I wanted to find AB, yeah, we know it's minus OA plus OB. Instead of converting this into column vectors, I could actually just keep this, right? So I can say minus 2I hat plus J hat, because that's OA. They told me OA is that. And then plus 3I hat minus 5J hat. This would give me minus 1 by 2I hat plus J hat, just using distributive law. So minus 1 by 2I hat, that's minus 2I hat. Minus 1 by J hat, that's minus J hat. And you still have plus 3I hat minus 5J hat. And you could simplify this, right? These are like terms, the 3I hat and the minus 2J hat. So minus 2J hat plus 3I hat, that's I hat. Minus J hat minus 5J hat, that's minus 6J hat. So if you look back to what we did just now, we found out that AB as a column vector was 1 minus 6. In this form, it's I hat minus 6J hat, and it's the same thing, right? So you didn't necessarily have to convert it to the column vector. You could have left the I hat and the J hat. And then if I wanted to find the magnitude using this column vector, it's the same thing we were doing, right? It would still be the square root of 1 squared plus minus 6 squared, right? You get the same answer. Can I move on now?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Moving on, right? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Number 6, please. Given OA is 7, 1 and OB 3, 4, and that M is the midpoint of the line AB, find the position vector of M. So position vector of M means OM, right? So we know we're trying to find OM. There's a problem though. They didn't, directly give us information about OM. So we need to manipulate all the information that they gave us in order to find this, right? So how exactly are we going to do that? Let's go to the thing. Like I said, it's always helpful to do a sketch, not necessary, but since, well, I mean, if you're now learning this, or you learned it a while back and you know you're kind of rusty, or you just did not understand it when you did it in school, it's really helpful to do a sketch. And when you get better at the topic, then you could, do all of this without a sketch. Okay, so OA 7-1, OB 3-4, and they told me that M is actually the midpoint of AB. Because M is the midpoint of this vector AB, I know that it's a half of AB. Don't worry, the sketch is going to show you, right? That's just me doing it without a sketch. I know M, if M is the midpoint of a line, then it needs to be a half of the line. Let me just draw a little line. If I have a line, and I tell you that this point here is the midpoint of the line, so it's directly in the middle of this line AB, then this vector here, from my point A to this point M, is going to be a half of this entire vector AB. Same thing with from M to B. This right here, this orange part, compared to the entire line, is a half of the line. So a half of AB. So that's why it's always good to sketch, right? So yeah, let me just do the sketch. I just wanted to show you that. Erase. Right, so let me just say, okay, I see AB. Let me just draw the thing for AB. A to O, O to B. This is AB. But then they told me M is the midpoint of AB. So M lies directly in the middle of this line. M. And what do they want me to find? They want me to find the position vector of M, so OM. But remember, position vector also means the point. So what I'm really trying to find is this point M. What is the point M on this line? How exactly can we do that? Well, like I was showing you just now with that whole thing there, I could actually use this vector right here. From A to M, I know AM, which is exactly half of this line AB, would be equal to a half AB. So I can use that to help me find M. Or I can also use this right here, M to B, because BM or MB, okay, let me use MB, because the vector is going in this direction up. So MB is actually a half of AB. And I could use this information to help me find this point M. Just like what we were doing with the point P, they told me that a point P lies on the line. And in that example, P was a quarter of AB. Same concept here. I have a point M lying on the line, but instead of the point being a quarter of AB, in this case, it's the midpoint. So it lies dead center of the line. So it's a half of AB in this case. Same process. It's literally the same thing you're doing now, right? The hardest part of this question was figuring out that AM is a half AB. So the vector AM is a half AB, or you could say MB is a half AB. Do you understand that? Yes. No.
Yes, Miss, I understand that.
Okay. So just like what we were doing just now. So it's the same thing you're doing, right? Same concept applies. So I'm trying to find position vector OM. I know that, right? They gave me OA, they gave me OB, and I just found out that I can also use AM, which is a half AB, or MB, which is a half AB. So because I want to find the position vector OM, I would look for one of the vectors that has M in it. So I would actually use this one, right? So AM, I know AM has M in it, so I could actually use that. Let me not do this thing. Let me do it like how I did it just now. So you could, follow the same process if you ever encounter a question like this. So I said I'm using this one, right? AM, which is from the point A to the point M, is a half AB. So just like the question from before, right? I'm trying to find AM. Let me AM now. Trying to find OM. I know that AM has to be equal to AO plus OM. So that's how I'm going to find the OM, right? I basically have this already. I'm trying to find this, but I don't know what this is. Just like we were doing just now, right? We did not know what PB was, but we had information to find PB. Same thing here. I want to find AM. I have information about AM. So what am I going to do? AM is a half AB. I know the vector OA, I know the vector OB, and therefore I could find the vector AB. AM is a half minus OA plus OB. So I'm not going to write it out, right? So it's minus OA plus OB, what we were doing before. So that's minus 7 minus 1 plus 3, 4. So this is minus OA and this is OB. Why do I have another bracket there? What? Anyways, let me just leave it. So this is a half minus 7 plus 3 is minus 4. Minus 1 plus 4 is minus 3. And a half of that is minus 2 minus 3 on 2. So now I know what AM is. If I know what AM is, I know what AO is, I can find OM. Just like we did with the example that had PB. Do you understand that? This could get a little confusing sometimes. So please let me know if you don't understand.
Miss, the orange part at the bottom, when you're solving for AM, like that first line right there, half, and then you open up the brackets and whatnot. You said minus 7 plus 3, that's minus 4, and minus 1 plus 4, isn't that supposed to be
Positive.
3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, miss, not from my end.
Okay. Anybody else? Please let me know. This can get confusing sometimes. So if you're confused, please tell me.
Is that a plus 3 over 2?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, all I need to do is write this formula, the AM is equal to AO plus OM.
What? You said something? Somebody said something.
Isn't AO supposed to be OA?
What?
Isn't the AO supposed to be OA?
Well, yeah, then I changed it. I didn't actually write it out, but AO would have changed to minus OE.
Okay.
Can I clear this now?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
Let me just show you one more thing. Right, so like I said, you didn't have to use AM. You could actually, oh my, not my voice cracking. You could actually use MB. MB is a half AB, right? But MB is the same as saying MO plus OB. And then we have OB. You find MB, which would be the same a half of AB. So it would still be, what was it? Minus 2, 3 on 2. Did I finish the question? Hold on. Did I finish that question just now? No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. Like you reached that part, yeah.
Wait, I found OM?
Oh no. You didn't find OM, no. You just
Oh.
ended up at -2, 3/2.
Not me, okay. Let me just do that one then quickly. Don't be like me, finish your question. So we found AM is minus 2 positive 3 on 2. And then from there, I could find my OM because I know AM is minus OA plus OM. Let me just write it out because I feel like somebody would ask me. AM is AO plus OM. And that's how I went from AO to minus OA, right? We know AM, we just found out it's 3 on 2, so it's -2, 3 on 2 is equal to OA, or minus OA, and we know that OA is 7, 1, so that's minus 7, 1, and we're trying to find OM. Nope, what am I doing? -2, 3 on 2. So this is positive 7, 1 is actually, it would give me the OM. -2 plus 7, that's positive 5. And then 3 on 2 plus 1 is 5 on 2. So OM is actually 5, 5 on 2. This is the answer. I had no space, so that's why I didn't write it again. But this is the answer, I think. 5, 5 on 2. Do you understand that?
Yes, miss.
Can I erase this?
You can erase the top. Just let me write this stuff in like maybe like 10 seconds.
I could erase this blue part too. These 2 lines.
Yeah, just leave the yellow part. Just leave the yellow part.
Okay. All right, so like I was saying, you did not have to use AM. You could also use MB. So in this case, MB would be MO plus OB. MB is still a half AB, so the answer for MB would still be -2, 3 on 2, because that's a half AB.
I'm done writing. You can erase the yellow part.
Okay. MO, you're trying to find this, and then OB, we already know what that is. It's 3, 4. And you would get the same answer. So let me just show you that. Erase, erase, erase. So it did not matter if you use the AM or the MB, same thing, right? minus 2, 3 on 2, minus 3, 4 would give me MO. So this is minus 5. And hold on. But we know that MO is minus OM. We don't want minus OM, we want OM. Therefore, I would divide both sides by minus 1 because I have no space. I'm just going to erase this, right? But I'm dividing both sides by minus 1. So the minus sign comes over here. Minus 5 is positive 5. Minus 5 on 2 is positive 5 on 2. Same answer, right? So I just wanted to show you that. You would get the same answer. Everybody good with this?
Yes, miss.
Can I clear it now? Yes, no.
Yes, miss, you can now.
Everybody is fine. I can clear it. Nobody's writing. Okay, going once, going twice, and I'm clearing. Last one. Actually, no, I think I should just move on. Let me move on. No time right now. All right, 20 minutes. Do you want to do this question now or move on to the other subtopics?
I think do the question.
Okay.
The meeting has like 5 minutes, so like you could do the question and then when you restart it, you could just continue with the subtopics. If that makes sense.
Yeah. What topics? No, not topic, subtopic. So unit vectors. Yes, I think unit vectors. Right. Yep, unit vector. So yeah, write down this question. When I restart the meeting, then we would go through it. Or write it down and attempt it now. If you have an answer, you can message me privately, right?